Hi, my name is Lawson Poling, and today I'm going to show you a recipe for lumpia. Now, lumpia is a Filipino egg roll that, being a former sailor and having visited the Philippines, once you've had lumpia from the Philippines, you're never going to want it any other way. Now, there's several different ways to make it. This is one variation, but this happens to be a variation that when I tasted it takes me back to the Philippines. So, for the what we call the software or the ingredients, the main player to give it volume is ground pork, and this is just simple ground pork from the local grocery. It's not like Italian sausage or anything like that. It's just plain old ground pork. And so again, this is going to give you your volume, but it's not, other than that, it's not really the main player, because we're going to spice this up or flavor this up with other ingredients. One of those ingredients is going to be a simple yellow onion, or oh so sweet would be fine. Onions bring a sweetness to the party, and we're going to go with a half a cup of this, finely chopped or shredded. I'll be shredding mine. We're going to add a half a cup of carrots. We're going to peel these to clean them up, and I'm going to shred these, and we'll use a half a cup of shredded carrot as well. We're also going, and carrots bring a sweetness, a sweet flavor to food as well, as well as the onion. And we're going to add about a bulb's worth of garlic. Now this, as you can see, is a airtight package of garlic. It comes from Christopher Ranch. If you can find this is my favorite garlic to use, because since it is vacuum packed and it's about a bulb's worth, you don't get the green germ that starts to be in a regular bulb of garlic when you get those from the store, and you're like, why can't I get fresh garlic? This is the freshest garlic. I can smell it through the plastic. That's how nice and fresh this is. So about a bulb's worth of garlic, and which also has a sweet component to it, especially if you roast it first, but we're not going to. We're just going to use a garlic press for this. We're going to add also a half a cup of shredded cabbage, and cabbage just brings, I can't really describe the flavor of cabbage. I mean, if you like cabbage rolls, you know, but we're going to add a half a cup of cabbage as well. We're going to add about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I happen to have dark soy sauce here. It isn't light soy sauce. It isn't salt-free soy sauce, and we really don't want that, because this is where your salt component is going to come from. You'll notice we don't have any salt setting out here. This is going to bring the saltiness and the soy flavor component to the lumpia. We're going to use an egg, but this is only for sealing up the egg roll wrappers as we roll the lumpia. This does not go into the mixture. I happen to have some pure sesame seed oil, and whenever I'm cooking an Asian cuisine type of a dish, if it seems appropriate, then I'm going to add some sesame seed oil, just because I really like it. This you want to use very sparingly, because it can easily overpower a dish, and the only thing you're really going to taste is the sesame seed oil, and it would ruin your dish. So use this sparingly if you choose to. It isn't necessary, it's just totally optional. And then we have the container, which is going to be egg roll wrappers, and I've seen some videos on YouTube where they have actual says lumpia wrappers on there, but I can't get those here, not even at a specialty food store. So we're going to use run-of-the-mill egg roll wrappers, and we're going to fry the lumpia in vegetable oil. You can also use canola oil, but vegetable oil has a lower smoking point, and you don't want to have a real high heat. You're going to use about a medium heat because all these ingredients are going to go into the wrapper. The pork and everything's going to be raw. Everything's going to be uncooked. And so you want to cook it at a low enough temperature that the contents, of the lumpia has time to cook. The pork has time to cook without burning up your egg roll wrapper. So vegetable oil in this case, you can use canola, but vegetable is just more appropriate for the temperatures we're going to be working with. Now here is some vegetable oil that I've used previously for making lumpia, and you can see in comparison how much darker it is to the oil you can see here underneath the label that's in the vegetable oil container. And as you cook with oil, if you strain your oil when you're finished and get the there's a little bit of pieces that are going to burn, get black, strain that out of your oil when you're finished with it, then you can reuse this oil without having that burnt food taste. And what I've done to do that with is this is a piece of cloth that actually came with something to clean the windshield of my car with, but it happens to have an elastic band on it, and it fits over the glass really well, and it won't fall into the glass when I'm straining my oil after it's cooled down. And you can see here all the nasty stuff that was left over from the previous batch of lumpia that it kept out of the oil. And so if you don't have something like this, I mean, just take a dishcloth or a bathroom washcloth or something, and put it over your glass and put a rubber band around it to hold it in place, and press it down so it makes like a bowl shape. So when you pour your oil, when you filter your oil after it's cooled down, you can reuse it. Now, I went ahead and put some excuse me, some dishwater in the sink, and Dawn dishwashing liquid, right? And just by simply hitting that, Dawn takes grease out of the way, right? Just by simply rubbing that in the Dawn dishwashing liquid, you can see the oil's gone, and you can reuse this cloth or throw it in the laundry. And I prefer to do it here. And you don't have to buy cheesecloth to strain your oil with, because cheesecloth is pretty expensive and it's one use and you're done. You can use this over and over again. So this is the software, as we call it, and next up is the hardware.